The mind of man is his most fertile ground. It will grow whatever seed is planted, whether weeds of fear or fruits of confidence. And the seed is always the same: thought. More specifically, the thoughts we whisper to ourselves in the silent chambers of the mind. This inner voice, often ignored, often underestimated, is not merely commentary. It is creative. It is causative. It is the unseen hand that carves out the destiny of every man and woman who walks this earth. When one begins to understand this truth, it changes the way they approach life. No longer is the mind treated as a passive observer, reacting to conditions and circumstances. Instead, it is seen for what it truly is: a builder, a transmitter, a creator of reality, and the most frequent builder's tool it uses is your internal dialogue. What you say to yourself when no one else is listening. Consider the man who wakes each morning and tells himself, "I am overwhelmed, life is unfair, nothing ever works out for me." Though he may not realize it, he is speaking commands to the subconscious, and the subconscious does not argue. It accepts, it acts, it obeys. His thoughts soon become feelings. Those feelings shape his actions, and those actions deliver the very results he dreads. The inner voice, through constant repetition, molds the world around him to mirror what is being broadcast from within. Contrast that with the individual who rises with discipline, looks himself in the mirror and says, "Today I am focused, I am resilient, I am in control." Though storms may come, he walks with a sense of calm purpose. His voice, refined by intention, becomes a tool of mental alignment. It gives orders to the subconscious that manifest in action. He sees opportunity where others see obstacles. He speaks certainty in the face of uncertainty, and the results in his life begin to confirm his beliefs just as surely as a compass confirms the north. This is not superstition. It is not blind optimism. It is the natural law of the mind. What is impressed upon it repeatedly becomes expressed outwardly in time. This is why the way you speak to yourself matters more than the words anyone else speaks to you. You may resist a stranger's opinion. You may disregard the doubt of a critic. But what you tell yourself, you believe. What you repeat, you absorb. What you declare, you become. The inner voice has creative power because it has direct access to the subconscious, and the subconscious does not filter truth from falsehood. It simply accepts what is emotionalized and repeated. It then begins to organize your behaviors, your perceptions, and even your outcomes to match that dominant internal narrative. This is why you must guard your self-talk like a fortress. The enemy does not always come from without. Often it speaks from within, disguised as your own thoughts. To harness this force is to step into conscious creation of your inner state and ultimately your outer world. Begin to speak to yourself not as a victim of chance, but as a commander of purpose. When challenges arise, do not retreat into language of fear. Instead, meet it with affirmations of power. Tell yourself, "I was built for this. My mind is steady. I choose how I respond." In the beginning, these words may feel unnatural. They may feel forced. But repetition breeds familiarity, and familiarity breeds belief. This is not a performance for others. This is not shallow motivation. This is the mental conditioning of a mind that refuses to be a slave to circumstance. The inner voice is not background noise. It is the primary narrator of your existence. It determines what you focus on, what you feel, and how you behave. Therefore, it determines the quality of your life. Even in silence it speaks, and whatever it says most often becomes your default reaction to life's tests. If it says you are weak, you will crumble under pressure. If it says you are strong, you will rise with resilience. Every repetition of a calm, confident thought is like striking a hammer against the anvil of the mind, forging a new pattern, a new identity, a new capacity to thrive under pressure. The man who shapes his inner voice with clarity and intention becomes the architect of his own reality. He no longer drifts with the currents of fear and confusion. He sets his own course and walks it with unwavering calm. Every man seeks power. He seeks it in wealth, in status, in influence, in opportunity. But the greatest power any man can attain is not the power to rule others, but the power to rule himself. The ability to remain calm in the face of chaos, to control one's own reactions while others fall prey to confusion, is the foundation upon which all true strength is built. He who has dominion over his emotions holds the keys to a life of mastery, because every external victory begins with internal discipline. Emotions are not enemies. They are signals. They are messengers from the mind to the body, indicators of how you are interpreting the events around you. But while emotions are natural, the surrender to emotion is optional. The individual who is ruled by every surge of anger, panic, doubt, or despair is no different than a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of every wind and wave. He cannot be trusted with great responsibility, for his state of mind is unstable. His decisions are compromised by the turbulence within. To train the mind to remain calm is to build a foundation that cannot be shaken. It is to develop the rare ability to think clearly when others react irrationally. It is not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. The world will test you. There will be trials, surprises, disappointments, and attacks. There will be moments that would justify emotional explosion. But justification is not mastery. True strength is revealed not in the absence of pressure, but in the manner by which one responds to it. Consider the businessman who panics at the first sign of market fluctuation. His fear clouds his judgment. He sells too soon, regrets too late, and walks away bitter, blaming the world for his losses. Contrast him with the man who remains composed, studies the data, and trusts his principles. His calmness allows him to see beyond the noise. He makes decisions rooted in strategy, not emotion. His calm becomes his competitive edge. This is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of inner dominion. The man who has trained himself to remain calm is not reacting from instinct. He is responding from intention. He understands that the mind, when untrained, magnifies problems and distorts perspective. He understands that unchecked emotion narrows the field of thought. Fear makes the future look darker than it is. Anger convinces you that destruction is justice. Sadness whispers that your best days are gone. But when a man has command over his emotional state, he separates fact from fiction. He separates reaction from wisdom. There's a hidden law that governs the successful, and it is this: control yourself or be controlled by the world. Those who rise to the heights of achievement have discovered that the greatest battles are fought in silence, inside the mind. It is not enough to hope for calmness. It must be trained. It must be built through repetition, through challenge, through moments of pressure in which one chooses discipline over impulse. The man who pauses before speaking, who breathes before reacting, who thinks before retaliating. This man is a king over his own domain. It is easy to feel strong when life is calm. It is easy to speak of patience when no one is testing yours. But strength is not revealed in ease. It is revealed in adversity, and your ability to hold dominion over your emotions during those tests will determine how far you rise and how deeply you fall. One who loses himself in moments of stress cannot be trusted with leadership. He may have talent, he may have vision, but without calmness, without mastery over emotion, he will sabotage his own ascent. Those who reach greatness understand that emotional discipline is not denial, it is redirection. They do not suppress feeling, they elevate it, they channel it. When anger arises, they turn it into focus. When fear arises, they turn it into preparation. When sadness arises, they turn it into reflection. Their emotions serve them. They are not slaves to them. To govern your emotions is to govern your time, your relationships, your choices. How many arguments are started not by fact but by reaction? How many opportunities are missed not because of skill but because of fear? How many lives are driven by regret because one moment of emotion dictated a permanent decision? A calm mind is a clear mind, and a clear mind can see the next step with precision. Every thought you allow to repeat within your mind becomes a silent sculptor, shaping the contours of your belief, character, and destiny. The principle is simple yet profound. The mind will believe what it hears most often, especially when that message is delivered with emotion. This is the essence of autosuggestion. It is the deliberate repetition of affirming ideas, carefully chosen, consciously planted, and emotionally charged, for the purpose of influencing the subconscious mind to accept them as truth. A man may train his body to be strong through physical repetition, but he trains his mind through thought repetition. The words he speaks to himself, whether aloud or silently, become his inner dialogue, and his inner dialogue becomes his guiding compass, steering him toward triumph or toward defeat. Autosuggestion is not mere whispered thinking. It is not a fantasy whispered into